We're in the tank Blitz Armor Pants here. How's it going? Have another review for you. Panther M10 with some mastery gameplay. And it is an inexpensive medium tank. Okay, let's have a look. It's a German tier 7 medium. It's a premium tank. It's always in the store, which is good. It only costs 4,750 gold, which is approximately $15, about 12 euros, or about 10 quid. So it's very good value for money, and it's a decent credit earner. And unlike some of the shite that Wargaming have been putting up in the store recently, it's not too expensive, right? So you can actually buy it. But I would say, as always, it's for experienced players only. It's a difficult tank to play, so unless you've got at least 4,000 games and familiar with medium tank play, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, who's this? This is Otto Skorzeny. He was known as the most dangerous man in Europe. He was an SS Lieutenant Colonel, paratrooper, and he was involved in all sorts of successful operations during the Second World War. And the last one he was involved in, Operation Grief, or the Battle of the Bulges, when they operated behind enemy lines and actually used disguised Panthers as M10 tank destroyers. And that's what the Panther M10 is based on. So it's quite an interesting historical tank with a very interesting historical reference. And used by this guy, Otto Skorzeny, who did some pretty impressive things during the Second World War, like rescuing Mussolini, for example, and the removal and overthrow of the Hungarian king. So there you go. He was, like, let's say, the Germans' go-to guy, their James Bond of the day, let's say. Anyway, let's have a look at the tank, and that historical background I think makes this tank extremely interesting. Even if you're not interested in playing it, just its very existence comes from a very interesting historical place, right? So it's a medium tank. It has paper armor, but we'll get onto that in a second. But what's so impressive about this tank? Its major things, its rate of fire, right? It has an amazing rate of fire. It is going to pump out rounds. It's got a 75mm gun. Its rate of fire is almost 16 rounds a second. So just think about that. Reload time is 3.7 seconds, but if you hit the adrenaline, it goes down to just over 3. So you can pump out the rounds. At tier 7, that's something else, right? Gun handling is amazing. There's very low dispersion, good aiming time, and it's very friendly over different terrains when it's moving. There's 8 degrees of gun depression, which is not bad for a German tank. It's mobile. It gets around the map. And that's important because, as I said, we're going to have a look at the armor profile in a second, right? And the armor profile, well, let's just say you should treat it as an origami tank, that everything is going to pen you. However, you will see when we look below that it does have some interesting angles on it that come from it being disguised as the M10 tank destroyer. And they will actually give you some bounces. But you should take those bounces as a bonus, because just assume everything's going to pen you. Now, if we look here, you see that the gun mantlet covers most of the turret and it can't be penned. So therefore, if you get hull down, it can give you some protection. And you can get some angles on because of this oddly shaped armor, particularly when the hull connects with the turret. But that said, take all of those bounces, any you get, as a bonus, and just assume you're going to be penned. And if you play it like that, and you do get a bounce, then it's only going to be, as I said, a bonus for you. Looking here front on, if you're the high tier against tier 6, you will, on the front on, you're going to get some bounces and have a bit of protection. When you're tier 8, you're pretty much going to be penned from the front, definitely from the sides and back. And against when you're up to tier 7, and against tier 8, you're going to get penned most of the time, except for the gun mantlet. In terms of strategy, peekaboo, it's pretty good. Hit and run, it's not bad. Long range sniping, it's not bad. Circle, it's good. 1v1 brawl, as long as you don't get hemmed in, it's good. Do not go front line in this tank. Absolutely do not. If you go front line, if you expose yourself, you will get smashed. You can be two-shotted by a lot of things, and if you're up tiered, you can be one-shotted by something like a Borsig or something like that. So just be careful. That would be my abiding takeaway for you with this tank. Only get it if you're experienced. You're experienced with medium play, tank play. If you know how to play a medium tank, and that you have played tier 7, tier 8 before, and are experienced and know the maps. Because if you go out in this tank without experience, you will die, and you will die very quickly. You're not going to enjoy it. You're going to hate the tank, and I can guarantee your teammates are going to hate you. So just don't do that. So if you are inexperienced and you want to buy a premium tank to earn credits and that, go for, like, you know, a lower tier premium tank. I did a review recently, the T14, very forgiving tank, which is good to play it if you're not so experienced, because it will allow you to make mistakes and learn some basic game mechanics and skills. But don't go for this. But if you are experienced and you're going for it, it can be a very good tank. Now in this game, I decided to go. I wanted the team to go left because I knew we were going to run into all of their nearly all their tanks on the right hand side, and definitely for me going up there first because of the speed of this tank, I didn't want to do that. But unfortunately, they decided all to go that way. Or maybe I'm the odd guy out here. I'm the only one over here on my own. But I also knew we needed the cap. So I decided to be a bit of a scout here, try to spot up the enemy that came this side, staying out of trouble. So I came capped, then I came out here, reset my camo. Now the enemy don't know where I am, and I'm going to try to flank. And you'll see in both the games I play, I flank with this tank, because with its speed, its maneuverability and its rate of fire, it is a brilliant flanking machine. And if you can catch a heavy isolated, as I do here with this M6, because the M6 is a big, awkward bastard, right? I mean, it's in real life, the M6 is actually quite a good tank, but the M6 in Blitz is not such a good tank. It's big and awkward, it's slow, it's a fucking huge target, you see there. It's gun depression, the guy couldn't get a shot on me. I come around behind him here, his position is all wrong, he's just not having a good day at the races. He does get one into me, but basically he gets one into me for about the 8 shots I put into him and get the kill. So that's a fair trade-off, right? Now I'm going to try to flank here, come around behind the enemy and help my teammates out now. So right, taking out one of their heavy tanks. And now this shot here, by the way, this is a very important shot. And you'll see the significance of it in a minute or so when I get into the Kolobanov situation, because that reduced him down to a 1 shot. And if you're in a Kolobanov situation, if you can get the other tanks down to a 1 shot, then you have a fighting chance, quite literally. Now, the little goose here on my team is actually a great player, and I recently did a review on that tank, and you know, it is a very decent tank, a very good tank to go front line in. This, my tank I'm in, is not. Now, I'm trying to help him because we're in a 3v2 situation. I don't get there in time, and I fluffed this shot here on the VK. So unfortunately, the T-34-2 takes him out. Now I'm in a Kolobanov situation. The big danger is this guy. Now, there you go, see a bounce. I don't know what the fuck I was doing here. I thought it was further back, so I reversed into the fucking rock. But if you've watched my videos, you know I often drive into rocks and houses and shit like that. Now it's 3v2. Now, I took a couple of hits there, but because I conserved my hit pool, my hit point pool, and I'm able to trade off there. There's another bounce. As I said, the angles will give you some bounces, right? But just take them as a bonus. Just assume you're going to get penned, and then if you don't, it's a bonus, Brucey bonus. Now, there you go. You see the importance of that shot I had on him, because he was a 1 shot. If he'd come around behind me there, he has a rate of fire equivalent to mine. He would have been able to start pummeling me, and then the VK would have come down and smashed me, and we might have lost that game. Instead, I was able to take one from him, take him out of the game, and then it's just down to a rate of fire battle with me and the VK, and I was able to complete the Kolobanov. So, what are the important things from that game? Well, I give a little goose there, thumbs up, because he had a great game. This tank is great for flanking. Don't go front line in it. They're the two basic messages I would take from that game. This is a mastery game. Again, you will see that I flank in the tank. Now, I'm going to create a fucking prison round of anal rape in about 1.5 minutes in this game, using the tank speed. Now, I knew we were going to get outgunned again on the right hand side in the desert, so I decided to go left. Another thing to note in this game is, look at this T-29. He's just decided on his own that he's going to go out into the desert, heavy tank, even though he clearly saw all the meds are coming back into the city to support the rest of the team. So, honestly, I don't know what he was doing there. Here I'm looking at the mini-map. That's where I drive right up the arse of that AT. Sorry about that, mate. Get some lube on that, he'll be fine. And so, now, all the reds are converged over on the left in that death corridor, which is common on this map, so I decided to go around. Now, what I decided to do here is not be lazy and take the early shots. I decided to flank all the way around, and there's a reason for it. I see there's a Hellcat in their team, and I wanted to check if he was over here on the far right hand side on the hill in a typical sniping position, but he's not. He's gone in to support his team. So now I'm in behind him, and now I just hit the adrenaline and I just open up a can of whoop arse here. I mean, I am putting in Freddie Mercury rounds, Japanese flag rounds, Vindaloo rounds. His arsehole's on fire there. I am going to create a Stephen Hawking round here. I'm going to turn his arse into a black hole. I am just fucking, it's just an absolute graveyard of fucking death. I am just pummeling the crap out of them. And this is the thing about this tank. You get into a position like this with this rate of fire, drop your adrenaline, you are going to fucking cause havoc. Look at this. So in the space of, what are we now into? We're less than 2 minutes into the game. I've already taken out 3 of their tanks. Fourth one is almost gone. I've just taken 1 hit in return. I'm going to take him out now. He's a 2-shot from me. I do take 1 more from him here. I thought I might get beyond this gun, but I didn't. But with that rate of fire, look at this. A maneuverability tank, game over. So 4 gone, just over 2 minutes of the game gone. And we've just created fucking havoc. And that's the beauty of this tank. But again, you need to play to the tank's strengths. I didn't go front line. I didn't go in front of the enemy tanks. Use the speed, maneuverability, and rate of fire to get in behind if you can. There's 5 kills, and we're only 2.5 minutes into the game. And I'm just wreaking havoc here. Now I'm supporting my team a bit. Now, at this point, I'm looking at the damage, and I know I have a mastery on. I'm also thinking I could possibly get a Raz. I don't now because somebody takes out that VK. I was moving up to try to get him, but somebody else takes him out. And I throw caution to the wind now because I've conserved some hit points, and I just want to get this last kill for the mastery, because I'm funny feeling if I get this last kill 6 and do over 3k damage, I'm going to get the mastery. Plus the spotting and the flanking and all the other activities. Switch to APCR because I don't want any bounces. And there we go. 6th kill, well over 3k of damage. And I thought that I might have the mastery badge, and there you go, mastery badge, nice one. So 3.2k damage, 6 kills. I was close to getting the 7th as well, which would have been nice, but let's not be greedy. Bit of a carry from me as well. And you saw the T29, I don't know if you observed during the game, he was giving us all sorts of abuse and calling us all sorts of names, but really that's just his own fault. I mean, it was mental play, you know, what he was thinking going out to the desert on his own. Anyway, takeaways, what to remember: do not go front line in this tank, you will die. Very simple. So flanking it, supporting it, use it for spotting. Typical medium tank play. Use its speed and its rate of fire, but do not go front line. It has a fantastic gun. It's accurate. It won't let you down. The rate of fire is just awesome. You saw there when I got in. It's a DPM monster. It's great for peekaboom. You saw it's great for scouting. As you saw there, I got a lot of scouting points in both of those games. Great for Circle of Death because its rate of fire is just a killer and it's manoeuvrable. Also, those angles will give you bounces when you don't expect them. I mean, it is an origami tank, it has paper armor, so play it like that. Play like you're going to be penned by everything. And then just take any bounces that you get as a bonus. As I did in the first game, the clubbing off, I got quite a few bounces. And the angles of the armor will give you a few bounces and surprise yourself and the enemy. But overall, just be careful. Drive it carefully, with caution, because if you don't, you will have very short and very bloody games. Alright, now take it easy, subscribe and follow and all that other stuff, or don't, or whatever you want to do. Just have a nice day. Alright, see you now. Cheers, Mush. Cheers, see you now. Boys.